thank you for joining us for the weekly St. Vincent football coach Bob Colbert's video blog right here on stvincent.edu. I'm Jim Berger, joined as always by Coach Colbert today. This past Saturday, the Bearcats played host to 7th ranked and unbeaten Washington and Jefferson College at chilly Chuck Noll Field. Though the Bearcats were into the game as decisive underdogs to the Presidents, they gave W&J all they could handle. Bearcats trailed just 7-0 going into the third quarter, and then just 14-7 with a little over 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter before W&J held off the upset attempt with a defensive touchdown. Coach, like I said, the Bearcats were big underdogs, but they certainly didn't play that way. What kind of message did you convey to them heading into the game and on Saturday morning? And how do you think they played? They weren't so intimidated.
We approached the game like it was a playoff game. I told the guys that someday, when it's cold and dreary, you'll be involved in a playoff game. You played a playoff caliber team last week in Thomas More. And when you play and win a game in the playoffs, your reward is to play a better team. So we didn't win a game against Thomas More, but we are again going to face another top 10 team, which is the type of team you face in the playoffs. So we tried to tell the guys that this is a playoff game. We approach it that way. And they bought into it. They didn't back down. They played W&J toe-to-toe. And what was the message? I think the message to the players that they accepted is sometimes it's not always the size and the strength and the speed of players that wins or plays well. It's also a big determination is what's your heart, what's your passion about playing. And if you saw our game Saturday, you saw our kids play about as good as they can under the circumstances and come up with just a great effort.
Well, the defenses dominated the game on both sides, and there were a few missed opportunities. A couple trips down inside the red zone for both teams came up empty. But it seemed to me that the team, the St. Vincent they never really packed it in and got flustered by these mistakes or let these mistakes or missed opportunities bother them. What's that say for the focus that the team had going into the game?
We had a couple opportunities. We had first and goal twice, and we came away with no points both times. It speaks well of their defense. We almost broke one down there, but their defense is very good. They're ranked 3rd in the nation in total defense. And they're there for a reason. They got good players. Their secondary is extremely fast. When you break out into the open against W&J, you're going to get caught because that's the way they play, and then they have the speed to close. We had a couple of things that almost broke, but even down near the end, Zach Mihalko broke one. It looked like he's going in, and both of the defensive backs converged from the outside and tackled him. So our guys were, you're right, they didn't get flustered, they didn't get discouraged. We came back and tried to get back in there again. And you're right, the game wasn't decided until that last fumble in the end zone when they recovered it. So what does it say? It says our kids have a lot of heart.
Well, W&J's offense also came into the game among the national leaders in a few different categories, but it seemed that the St. Vincent defense really bottled them up. Why do you think that was the case?
Well, again, they bought into our game plan. We had a good game plan. Sean Rohr did a nice job, and the defensive staff did a nice job of planning against W&J. But our defense has played well the last 3 ball games against Grove City. It started at Grove City where, until the end, when we wore down, we were in that game against a very good offense and maybe the player of the year on offense in our league. And against Thomas More, again, against another strong offensive team, we were good on defense. We had too many turnovers on offense to allow our defense to help us win a ball game. And again this week, W&J, I think I was told that was their least output offensively in maybe 4 years. So our guys just played well. We threw a couple different wrinkles at them that were frustrated them a little bit. Their wide receiver, their great wide receiver, Craig Vincent, I think only had 5 receptions, well under his average. So I think we frustrated them a little bit with our number one, some of the things we're doing on offense or defense, and our kids just played. I mean, they played to the best of their ability.
Offensively on Saturday, quarterback Jake Smith got the nod his first start of the year and 4th of his career. He did pretty well. I thought he managed the game, completing 12 passes for 185 yards and a long touchdown in the fourth quarter. What made you call Jake's number this week, and how do you think he did?
He did well. I mean, he had a couple drop passes. There was a couple mental mistakes. But overall, I think Jake's performance was good. He did manage the game pretty well. Jake doesn't panic. He gets in there and he sees the field pretty well. Well, why did we call his number? We just thought it was time to give him a chance. We'd given up the ball too many times previously in the last 3 ball games prior to this game, so we just thought we had to shake things up. And then when we take a look at our offensive line actually started almost 5 new starters when you include the tight end. Kelly Nepshield was the only guy who was playing this regular position. We had 3 players out, 3 starters out with a couple of injuries. We had to move around some other guys, so they were playing in a new position for the first time. So when you combine all that, you got to credit the kids for doing what they did. I mean, that's a very good defense, and our guys hung in there with them. And I give Coach Burney a lot of credit, our offensive line coach, for patching that together and helping us move the ball because of the way the kids played.
It was a special day for another Bearcat, freshman wide receiver Carl June, who you named team captain for the Saturday's game. Tell us about Carl.
That's a great story. Carl came to us from Miami. He's a year out of high school, so 2 years out of high school, so he went to a community college down there. And Carl showed up here in August, and he's been a pleasant surprise to us. He's a native of Haiti, and to make the decision to become a U.S. citizen was really a big deal for him. A couple of weeks ago when he had to get down to Pittsburgh for the test, he didn't have a way down there, and nobody kind of knew he was going down. He took a cab from Latrobe, PA to Pittsburgh, and then took a bus home. That's how much it meant to him to become a U.S. citizen. So I was able to take him down to the ceremony Friday, and it was really nice to see. I mean, it really meant a lot to him, and to be involved. Never been at a ceremony like that. So Carl we were real happy for him because you can't ask for a better person, and he cares a lot about playing football, and it was really important to become a U.S. citizen. So we were glad that we were able to make him captain and give him a little bit of recognition.
Well, as we said, Coach Colbert picks the team captains on a game-by-game basis based on their performance in the previous week. Who's going to be the captains this week against Geneva?
We're going to decide that this afternoon. We haven't had a good meeting yet to where we're going to decide that, to be honest with you. So that's, as we go to print or tape today, we're not going to decide what we're going to do yet for this week.
Like we said, the Bearcats will travel to Geneva. It's a little bit of a schedule rarity. It'll be the second time this season the 2 teams will play. After Geneva picked up a 32-17 win in Week 2 this year, they're having a very good year, 5-1 so far. Winners of 4 of their last 5, I believe. Their only loss was to Washington and Jefferson. What do you think has led to their success, and what are you expecting, the same kind of things this time around?
Well, it's good to play them again. I mean, it's like an NFL. You go back to your last game, and you see what you did well, what you didn't do so well, and plan accordingly. What makes them so good, they have some experience. Their quarterback is experienced, and anytime you have an experienced quarterback, you're going to have an edge. Their running back is a big, strong runner. He's done a nice job. He's a downhill runner and comes with a lot of power, so that's helped. And they're playing good defense. They have maybe one of the best defensive players in the league, and as a defensive end, and he's hard to defend. He's hurt us a couple times. So it's a little bit of experience on the line. At the quarterback position, and I think this transfer back they brought in has done a nice job for him.
Well, that does it for Coach Colbert's blog this week, Coach. I wish you luck. The game will be broadcast online at www.redzonemedia.com. It will be a Saturday night affair underneath the lights at Reeve Stadium in Geneva, beginning at 7 o'clock. Well, thank you for joining us, as I said. For Coach Colbert, I'm Jim Berger. I'll talk to you next week.